Well, welcome back to SAFC Live. The final score in the end was Sunderland 1, Stoke 5. We weren't expecting that at all, even at half-time, Danny.
No, I don't think so. Anyone leaving here today, it's come to a shock, I'd imagine. I think, yes, we've had a couple of defeats on the road in the last couple of games, but you're coming back here today, I think everyone's coming here optimistic, thinking, can we get back on track? Can we put in a performance which we've seen more often than not throughout the season? But it wasn't to be. You go in 1-0 down at half-time. We weren't great, didn't really work the goalkeeper in that first half. A couple of changes, I think enforced. Obviously, Adji picked up an injury. Luke coming on at left-back and the one in midfield with Michu coming on as well. But yeah, just didn't get going all afternoon. Stop-start game, as we said, injury after injury. But credit to Stoke, I thought they pressed us really well and they took their opportunities when they came along.
Let's dissect it then. This is how it went this afternoon for Sunderland. We'll talk through the action. And this is early opportunities for Stoke. You were talking just on the gantry there. Sunderland didn't ask him enough questions of their goalkeeper, did they, throughout the afternoon?
No, we're just thinking that, yeah, we got the goal back, didn't we? But other than that, I can't remember a save he's had to make, really. We did get into the box a couple of times in the second half, but no, I don't think he had a save to make, did he, really? And it was, say it's huff and puff, really. We're looking at the highlights, really, from the first half. That's arguably our best chance from open play, isn't it? Half chance at best from Ahmad. Good block from Sterling there. And we'll get onto the one for the big decision, really, isn't it? It's the one not after this one. Dan Neil getting the strike away there, but the one there, ball goes in a minute, and Danny Bart gets caught by the goalkeeper. Their man goes down as well. Hoover there, the fullback, goes down injured, and then obviously the goal build-up comes from that, which we'll have to try and look at if we've got the footage from it. But yeah, and then people are going to say about the referee as well, and maybe could have been one or two more yellow cards. I thought Dan Neil's was harsh in the first half as well. But we can't keep having a dig at referees throughout the course of 90 minutes. You're going to get opportunities. We weren't good enough. It's as simple as that today. The players will know that. Tony Mowbray knows that, doesn't he? Yeah,
because even if you have issues with the controversy over their first goal, Sunderland didn't do enough to stop it anyway, and it came all the way from the back, didn't it?
That's it. Yeah, it's not as if it was over on the far side, high up the pitch, and they took a throw in and they've scored straight away. They've built out from the back, Stoke. They've worked it up the pitch too easy. Not enough pressure on the ball from our point of view. And it summed it up when the balls come in, and there was a couple of instances before that. The one that Smallbone nearly had one where he was stretching from the ball in from Campbell early on, what we just seen in the highlights there. It was a warning sign, and we weren't quite at it in the middle of the park.
Was that a foul from the goalkeeper there?
Yeah, that's the one we're on about now, isn't it? So we'll see it back on the other camera angle, but it's the man that's gone down as well, isn't it? It's Hoover, the right fullback. But just look at it now, Danny Bart gets there, doesn't he? The ball comes this way, keeper doesn't really get there. And he's caught him, and obviously his man's come off as well, feeling it. He's clattered into the pair of him, hasn't he, the goalie? Man's there back on the line to help him out. But then it sort of comes from that. We've seen him now, he's gone over to the far side. Look, they haven't done it quick, so we've had time to get set from the throw. It's gone out to the full-back there. Jack Clark trying to get across, no pressure on the ball from our point of view. Next one there, Adji Elise comes out there, gets flicked down the line through the middle. It's not as if he's bursting into the box. We've had loads of time to get our shape, to get back in.
You said the cutback was on.
It was, yeah. And that's the third one I remember from the first half, where the other two warning signs for us didn't do it. And you see there, we're getting dragged about. Adji Lise trying to get back in. Dan Neil can see Smallbone, feels he's got to come across, trying to help out. And then you see Alex Pritchard, who was playing deeper today, in there alongside Dan Neil as well. I think we put Patrick Roberts went in there as well alongside him to make it a 3. But no, I just thought before the game when I seen it, I know it's hindsight again coming into it, but I think maybe you're missing Corey Evans in there. Next best option for me perhaps is a sitter. It's probably Luke O'Nien. I think we've seen it down at Queen's Park Rangers a couple of weeks ago. I'd have probably put him in there today. Go for that midfield solid 3 really. We're coming off the back of 2 defeats. Make sure we're solid in the middle of the park, and we're quite open at times. And I thought Smallbone was decent for them. This is one of those, right? If that's on the halfway line, he gives a free kick, but it's in the box. It's almost like, well, it's not quite enough for a penalty. And then here we are now into the second half, made a couple of changes. Dan Neil, from Dwight Gale's point of view, is quite clever. He reads it, he knows that Dan's going to go back to Anthony Patterson, cuts it out, and then he's got good awareness to roll it into Will Smallbone there, breaking forward. And he just rolls it across. Anthony Patterson has to come across there to try and narrow the angle down, and he just rolls it across to Tyrese Campbell. Rolls it into the empty net. And there was a few Sunderland fans starting to leave then, and it didn't get much better after that, did it?
No, it didn't get any better for Sunderland. In fact, it got a lot worse in the second half. This is
the third one
goal
now, isn't it, as well? Yeah, we got caught on that left-hand side as well. Now they've worked it across the pitch. Trey Hume gets to go blocking the first one, and it just sits there for Campbell, and he just swivels on it with his right foot. Say he's weaker right foot, he's all left foot really, isn't he? But it's a great finish from his point of view. In off the foot of the post. And that's, yeah, it's pretty much summed it up, isn't it? And, you know, Anthony Patterson, that's 3 balls that have flew past him so far on the highlights, and we're getting good numbers back in the box there. Sometimes in games it's when it's going against you really. You know, it's sort of dropping around. See, Trey Hume's got the blocking on the first one, but he gets another go at it.
And Sunderland get a goal back through Alex Pritchard as well, and that kind of lifted the crowd a bit, and you felt like, hold on, there's still about half an hour left in this game.
Well, it was, yeah, and we didn't see enough of this, and it's been our main threat, hasn't it, in recent weeks. It's Ahmad and Patrick Roberts, the combination down that right-hand side, and they work it really well. Stoke will be disappointed, you know, from our point of view, we're saying it's a good goal. Look at it from their point, they've got 5-6 bodies back there, no one's getting tight, but Alex Pritchard's getting across there at the near post, gets across the defender, and he just it gets us back into it. And now I'm thinking you can feel a little bit of a lift from the stadium. That's the one from Patrick there. Yeah, no, he's got Danny Bart in the middle. You know, people have watched the highlights and say, well, that's sort of summing it up really. We haven't got a striker in the middle there for those cutbacks, and nobody's in there for Patrick to roll it back to. And I'm thinking now, do you know what? Yeah, we're 3-1 down, but Stoke aren't in great form. They might have a little bit of a wobble if we can get another one back, you know, get back to 3-2, and then all of a sudden they get a corner at the other end of the pitch. But just look at it. Is everyone back? I think everyone's back for us from the corner. Corner comes in, nobody's got first contact. Look at this now. Nobody's in with 5 yards of him. Look, heads it down, drops down. I think was it Jagielka or Morgan Fox who gets the strike away? I think it's Fox, isn't it? Yeah, come on, there, gets the strike away. Good save from Anthony Patterson. And there's Dwight Gale, a couple of yards out. And I said he's only got the 1 goal before today, and well, he's not going to miss from there, is he? A couple of yards out. And here's this Luke O'Nien getting forward. Yeah, it's like a block tackle, this one, wasn't it? Luke getting forward from left back. But yeah, now I'm thinking the game's gone. The fans are, you know, starting to leave, aren't they? And we've not been nowhere near our levels. And the game is still fairly open. And then this one, yeah, another one, cheap one given away, free kick. I think it was Michu give the free kick away. Needless one, just lent into him, give it away. It's a difficult one for Anthony Patterson. He's on his way out, isn't he? I always feel like that's why I like outswingers. I think, you know, it favours the attacking team. The keeper there, if that's an in-swinger, it's going towards Anthony Patterson. He probably comes to punch it. It's going away from him. He's not getting there. And Dwight Gale just gets there before him. And then, again, that's pretty much summing us up, really, in a way, isn't it? Where we're driving towards the goal there, and there's nobody in the middle. So, massively disappointing afternoon.
Let's have a look at the latest scores from the Championship. Many of these will be full-time results now. Blackburn Rovers 1, Sheffield United 0. So Sheffield United lose again in the league. Yep. Cardiff City 2, Bristol 0. Blackpool 0, Burnley 0. Huddersfield 0, Coventry 4. Luton 1, Swansea 0. Middlesbrough 5, Reading 0. Millwall 2, Norwich 3. That's Sunderland's next opponents, Norwich. Rotherham United 3, Queen's Park Rangers 1. Watford 0, Preston 0. And Wigan 1. Birmingham City 1.
Yeah,
a few of them.
Middlesbrough right on the heels of Sheffield United.
Surprising ones, yeah. Let's have a look at the league table as it stands this evening then. Burnley still top, obviously. Streets ahead of Sheffield United on 64. Middlesbrough on 60 now.
Well, they've got that game in hand, haven't they, Sheffield United at this moment in time. But
then it reads down Blackburn, Luton, Norwich, Sunderland clinging on to the top 10 there on 49 points. But now find themselves 6 points away from the playoffs.
Yeah, and just looking at the next fixtures we mentioned, I mean, Norwich up next had a win there today, find themselves back up into the playoffs. Luton to come, Sheffield United, Burnley. Fixtures don't get any easier, so we've got to dust ourselves up sharpish and get on with it.
Let's rattle through some fan opinions then on hashtag AskDanny. And let's see what you have had to say. This one's coming in from Lion, who says, do you think the lads let bad officiating get into their heads too much? There was definitely something going on. Definitely something going on this afternoon. They were frustrated, weren't they, the Sunderland players? As were the crowd inside the stadium, especially in that first half.
Yeah, that can filter sometimes from the from the stadium, from the fans down onto the pitch. Of course it can, but yeah, listen, if decisions go against you, you've got to try and put it to the back of your mind. It's easier said than done. Certain players can do it and some can't. You're looking in the first half, maybe one or two. Dan Neil's yellow card, you're perhaps looking at, was it a yellow card? I thought it was harsh. He's won the ball and he's caught him a bit on his follow through. I thought they should have had one. Laurent should have been booked early on Patrick.
Very early,
there's
down
one
in
or
this
two,
corner, yeah.
And then the crowd get on top and that filters down to the pitch, I think. But we had it last week in commentary. We were talking about referees and officials a lot last season, weren't we? In League One, and you're thinking, a lot of people are saying you're coming up to the Championship, the officiating's going to be better. Is it? It's not an easy job. I've not been a referee. I don't want to get after them.
Jeremy Simpson was the referee this afternoon.
Yeah.
What do you make of his afternoon in general?
Do
you think he had a good afternoon, the referee?
Not really. There was even the little niggly ones. What I say is niggly ones in terms of there's maybe an advantage to he can let go there. There was one on the far side where Alex Pritchard got fouled, and the ball ran into Patrick's path there. Let it go on for a minute or two. Don't be too quick on the whistle. They're the little ones which get the crowd agitated, I think. But you watch Premier League games, you watch Match of the Day later on tonight. How many times are you going to see refs getting it wrong at the Premier League?
VAR getting it wrong.
VAR get it wrong, and they get to look at the same telly as everyone else. So, it's frustrating, but we can't keep blaming the officials. We've had 3 defeats on the bounce now. So over, 270 minutes, we can't just say, the officials have got everything wrong and that's what's gone against us. Our performance levels have got to be better than what they've been.
Let's have a look at another thought on #AskDanny. Adam says, does Alex Neil know our strengths and weaknesses? And he says, use them to his advantage today. Or was it just a bad day at the office? It certainly was a bad day at the office. But, Alex Neil used his knowledge of this side against Sunderland this afternoon.
I would say against us as such. I think, he'll know the strengths and weaknesses. He knows the players well. He's worked with the majority of the squad, hasn't he? Of course he has. But coming up here today, I think it's, if you're saying to me, would I know our strengths and weaknesses, or anybody else watching us? We're obviously on the telly a lot in recent weeks. You're looking at where are our strengths. It's getting the ball to Jack Clark, to Patrick Roberts, to Ahmad, your main threats, and getting it out wide to do their stuff 1v1 and driving defenders back into the box. So we'll have looked at that. Of course he will. He plays Sterling at left back, who's quite sharp. We didn't get the better of him too often. I thought Jack done quite well in the first half up against Hoovens on the far side. But I thought they had good energy, Stoke. I thought they were strong, physical throughout the middle of the pitch. Good. The first goal summed it up, really. Driving runs, we've not matched them. And then on the flip side of that, we've gifted them goals as well. The second goal, the third goal, you can look at the goals, and we've just dissected the goals there, haven't we? But you can't, off a corner, it's basics. You get your man given to you, or if we're zonal, the other lads have got to stop the runners. Nobody's got touch tight for the first contact on the first header there. He's got 5-10 yards free in the 18-yard box to win the first header, and then it's scrambling around, ends up in the back of the net. So I'm sure Tony Mowbray in there he'll look at the goals with his staff and the team. They'll probably have a look at it on Monday and go through it. It's not a pretty watch. You have to do it as a player. You have to say, what have we done right, what have we done wrong. Unfortunately, we haven't done a lot right this afternoon. I'm just saying it there where you hope it doesn't affect the players too much. A 5-1 defeat at home, not especially in front of your home fans as well. I've been there as a player.
42,000 as well.
42,000, yeah.
Big gate this afternoon.
Yeah, everybody's been there as a player. The top teams, it happens to the top teams. You've got to try and dust yourselves off. You think sometimes though it'll affect younger lads more than senior players. That's what I found in my early days. If you've had a bad result, it can stay with you. Tuesday up till Tuesday, Wednesday, until you start building towards the next week. Whereas when you get a little bit older, you have to let it go earlier. You put it to the back of your mind. The likes of Alex Pritchard now, Danny Bart, got to get around the younger boys early next week, Luke O'Nien, and say, listen boys, that's gone now. We've got to focus on Norwich. We've got to try and put things right, because that's 3 defeats on the bounce. Yep,
let's have a look at another one then. Keep them coming. This is off Bradley. This will be the last one on today's programme. It says, is that the playoffs gone now, and is it just aim for a top half finish? Is it gone, Danny, or it's a couple of results?
Well, you're looking at we've got 11 games left, haven't we? You've still got a lot of teams to play around us. That's a good thing for me if your ambitions are to get into those playoffs. And I know a lot of fans are going to say, listen, this year it was all about consolidating. We just got back. Survival. At the start of the season, would you have taken 15th, 17th? I said I would have done, but over the course of the season and where we've been at and the performances we've shown and the levels.
Having said that, no one at the club or the fans deserve a 5-1 defeat at home, do they?
No, they don't, no. And that happens in football. You know, that and the Burnley, that's 9 goals in 2 games at the Stadium of Light, so it's not great, of course it's not, especially the Burnley game, the position we were in at half-time. But what frustrates me, you know, you look at their Middlesbrough won 5-0 today, and they've been flying under Michael Carrick, but look what happened when they come up here to Stadium of Light the other week.
Beating 2-0,
they made them look very average. Yeah, you're going to say that's over 90 minutes, so they might have had an off day, etc., and we were bang at it, but we've more than matched teams this season. That's the frustrating thing. You know, we've lost today, conceding 5, but are Stoke better than us over the course of the season? No, they're not. They've had their day up here today. So we've got teams to play now. We go to Norwich, we've got Sheffield United, we've got Luton, we've got Burnley, we've got all the teams in and around us who we can affect as well. So they're like 6-pointers in a way, aren't they? So the lads have got to carry on. They'll have that belief in them, I think, that they can still produce between now and the end of the season. There's still 30-odd points to play for, isn't there? So you've got to keep on going. And if we can win again, it gives them that lift and that confidence starts to come back. And then can we get on a little run? But at this moment in time, over the last 3 games, it's a massive blow. Confidence will be low tonight with the boys, but they've got to pick themselves. That's all you can do. You know, fans will say, what can they do now? You get back on the training pitch, you work hard like you have to, and you've got to try and put it right.
Okay then, Danny, thanks for your thoughts and company this afternoon, and thanks to yours as well if you've been watching around the world this afternoon. Sunderland are back in action on Sunday next weekend, 12 noon kickoff. We can't carry that one because it's a lunchtime kickoff on Sky. We are, however, carrying the game here at the Stadium of Light against Sheffield United on Wednesday the 16th, 8 p.m. kickoff for that one, Danny. And it won't be an easy one either, but it will be enjoyable and, of course, all part of life in the Championship. We'll be back very soon. Thanks for being with us today. We'll see you soon.